in what ways would you say that live music is important to our community, especially during the pandemic?
I mean, it's pretty multifaceted.
Yeah.
Live music, ever since I've moved here, has always been a really central part of the culture of Gainesville. There's always been, cool bands coming from Gainesville. It's a large part of what drives people downtown. Mm-hmm. So, we've been really involved in Save Our Stages, mm-hmm. and which is the goal is to get a bill passed in Congress to help venues like ours all over the country get aid so we can continue to stay open until things start to normalize, which could be a year from now. But excuse me?
Are you busy?
Yes.
It's okay.
Anyway, and so one of the big things we cite when we're lobbying and we're talking to politicians and trying to get them to help us is, pretty much for every dollar that a place like ours generates in ticket revenues, we bring like $12 to the rest of the community, mm-hmm. because people come downtown because there's a band in town that they want to see. What do they do beforehand? They stop and get food. Mm-hmm. They go to the hot dog cart. They go to the coffee shop. After they come here, they spend a couple hours here. Afterwards, they go bar hopping. Mm-hmm. They go to the pizza place. They go to Flacco's.
And then stay in a hotel.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. When they come into town, because the band that's playing here isn't playing in Jacksonville or whatever, mm-hmm. we get a lot of shows that only come to High Dive or come here and like one other place in Florida. So yeah, a lot of people come and stay in hotels too, Airbnbs, whatever. So yeah, a place like ours is not just a cultural thing; it's like a neighborhood thing that kind of anchor the downtown area. And what I've seen, we've only been open for about a month now, and we've been open mm-hmm. in limited amounts because there's just no one touring right now. Mm-hmm. So pretty much we've got the handful of local bands that are available to play, and you can see it. Like, we're one of the only places downtown that does what we do that's open right now. Like, mm-hmm. most of the other venues that have live music, they do something else. They're a restaurant, they're a recording studio, whatever. So they don't really need to do bands right now. Like, so, we get out of here, all of our shows have been a little earlier lately. Mm-hmm. I'll get out of here at like 11:45 on a Thursday night, and everything downtown is closed.
Yeah.
And that's because, there's not shows happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, we do a show and 30, 40 people show up, and that's, significantly less than what usually happens.
Yeah.
So, and part of that is just people are reluctant to go out right now. And the other part is we're not getting like the big name shows here that people want to come see. Mm-hmm. If those, it's kind of like a chicken and egg scenario. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's going to be some shows coming back. Like, let's say November, December. There might, I think there'll be some smaller regional acts that are going to be touring, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like, do people come out, and then do they start spending money elsewhere? Like,
yeah.
I think they will. It just won't be as many people as have.
So you mentioned like the Save Our Stages thing. What are some things that community members in Gainesville can do to help support High Dive right now?
It's since the beginning, we've kind of just jumped from like fundraiser to fundraiser. Mm-hmm. Just trying, because and people are very kind of like fatigued,
yeah.
on fundraisers. But we've done GoFundMes, and we've done GoFundMe where we split the money between us and the staff, and we've done a lot of T-shirt sales. We're still doing T-shirt sales. We just put out a new T-shirt. We put out T-shirts and masks with the same design. So people can buy those. Those help, and we've seen people from all over the world buying T-shirts and stuff. That's been really cool. So yeah, there's that. That's like the besides coming down here and seeing a show, and like I said, it might not be the big names that you might have been used to in the past, mm-hmm. but there's still some really good bands here that are playing on a regular basis, and people should come check out some local bands that maybe they have just haven't checked out yet, because I've been here for pretty much every live stream and every show we've had since we started doing them in July, and I've been really happy to see, especially because these bands, a lot of them hadn't practiced a whole lot, like how good they actually are. So, there's a lot of local talent out there that people just aren't paying attention to. And, some of it's the bands have to, get themselves out there more, and hopefully with our live streams, like that'll, help them get, spread their music more. But, people just need to come out here and check out some music. Honestly, that's probably the biggest thing. Come out, try some, check out some new bands they've never seen before, buy a drink, buy a t-shirt, and then continue to push politicians to get this stimulus bill done. Because the Save Our Stages bill, which is, a really big bill for the live music industry, but relatively is a very, very tiny piece of the stimulus package. And it was included in the HEROES Act, the HEROES bill, which the House passed like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It was on there. That was a big achievement for us. Like, we went from National Independent Venue Association, which is the group that we're part of, that has lobbied for that bill. We started with nothing back in April, and the pandemic hit March, and basically created this association. Got 2 million people to write Congress to make them realize, like, this is an important business, not just the culture, but for the economy of neighborhoods too. And we put it on the radar. We got it on that package, but that package has to pass all the way through the Senate and the White House. So people need to be demanding of their representatives that this has to get done. Because, and not just for us, but like all the other things that are in the stimulus package that need to happen for everybody.
Yeah.
But for us in this industry, like, that's what needs to happen. Mm-hmm. Because, that bill will provide funding for anywhere from 6 to 12 months for venues like ours. And we're quote unquote open here. Like, we're allowed to have people here. The business is not what it needs to be to pay the bills. Like, what we're doing right now is we're like a boat out in the ocean without a map or a compass or GPS. Like we're eventually we're going to sink without that package. Mm-hmm. Because the cities and the counties, they've only been able to do so much. And like a lot of businesses, we got the PPP loan back in April, but that didn't even last a month. Yeah. So yeah, the only way that places like ours all over the country are going to survive is through the Save Our Stages Act. And you have to keep pushing the politicians, like, get this done, like, stop arguing, and just get things done for everyone's benefit.
Yeah.
And and I personally email, and call the same reps every week. Yeah. Keith Perry, Chuck Clemens, Marco Rubio, Rick Scott, like I'm constantly hounding those people, like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's something done.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the live streams?
Yeah, so we originally put together a streaming setup here in June with the idea that we were going to be able to open in July, and that we would do a hybrid model, which is have shows and also live stream at the same time. Well, then they told us back before we could reopen, like, sorry, you're not opening in July, you're closed again. And that's what led to over 6 months of closure. So at the time, though, we said, okay, well, we've put together the streaming setup, we have some shows booked, we might as well try to make some of these shows happen, test out our live streaming stuff. And so we started doing the live streaming, and we use it's a gated or ticketed system. It's not free on social media. We've done some of those, but I think what we're doing is much more professional than what a lot of people might have seen on Facebook, which is someone in their room with a guitar. Like, we got full bands on our big stage, our big sound system, multiple cameras, pro audio, and so we want to put value on what we do and what the bands are doing. And all the bands have been really generous to, like, volunteer. And I mean, number one, they're, like, super excited just to get back on stage again, because a lot of them hadn't done that in over 6 months. So they're volunteering to get out here and help us try this out. It's all donation based. You go on there, it's veeps.com, VEEPS, and you go on there, it's pay what you want, so you can pay anywhere from $6 to $100, whatever you want. And we have different tiers, and then if you donate $45 or more, we give you a free T-shirt and we mail it to you. So that's been one of our main fundraisers too, is live streams. So yeah, if you want to add another list, what can people do? They can either come out here and watch the show, or they can watch it online. And most of our shows have 2 or 3 bands. The hip hop show we have tonight is going to have like 6 or 7 local hip hop artists. We've had a lot of comedy streams with 6 or 7 or 8 local comedians, and for $6, it's hard to beat it.
Alrighty, do you want to talk about Rocky Horror?
Oh yeah, I kind of got the gist, but with deciding to do Rocky Horror again this year and everything, can you talk a little bit about that?
Rocky Horror Picture Show has been one of the, I think we've been doing it for 7 years now, and it was a complete accident that we started doing it. I just had a friend who said, hey, some friends of mine would like to do this here. This was when we first started out. We'd only been open a couple years, and we were still kind of struggling to really get the place going, because it was just kind of like a lull in the music scene at that time. And we've always looked for things besides live music to have here, like our food truck rallies, comedy, and burlesque shows, and all these things. But yeah, Rocky Horror was one of the first things we did that was not live music, and we did it once, and it did really well. And then every year we've added more and more shows, and then we started doing it twice a year. We do it in the summer and in the fall, and the people that it's the same cast comes back and does it every year. They just love it. It's a passion for them, and we couldn't really conceive of not doing it, and the timing was right to try to do it this year. And we needed a good show that we knew people would be excited about, that would be a good way to ease into having shows inside the building again. And Rocky Horror is primarily a seated show. Yeah. And with the pandemic, as places have opened up primarily, they've been encouraged to have seated type things. That's the safest way to do it. Now the governor says we can do whatever the hell we want. We're not doing that. But so anyway, we thought Rocky Horror would be a good way to try to transition into reopening, and also people would be excited about it, and also be willing to pay a little bit higher ticket price, because when we're basically at 30% capacity in there right now, with the seats set up the way they are. They're all on a checkerboard pattern. They're all distanced, groups of 2 and 3 and 4 seats, so we have 2 shows a week. The last week of October we're going to have 3. We'll have 7 total shows. We had a pretty decent start this week for the opening week, and we think the crowds will get bigger and bigger throughout the week, or through the month. So we're excited about it.
We're both going. We're so excited.
Good. Yeah. When are you guys coming?
I'm coming on Thursday.
I'm going on Wednesday.
Nice. Yeah. There's still some tickets left, so if you know anybody,
for sure,
who still wants to come, tell them to buy, because there's a possibility we could sell out next week. So
we'll definitely spread the word for you.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to include it. In all this.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was the next question, but when the way we're doing the shows inside, we put a lot of thought into it, because we want to be safe. We want people, people have been told for so long, like, stay home, and people are seeing there are ways to leave your house and go places. You just have to be smart about it. We're not pushing 500 college kids in here without masks. That's just not going to happen. It's silly. So we're at about 30% capacity. It's seated. The thing that I think really, because the Rocky Horror cast, they were very apprehensive too. They're like, we don't want to be part of something that's irresponsible. But we came up with the idea where we have this outdoor beer garden area. We have this bar that is in the past has been underutilized. So we let people come in and drink out in the beer garden. It's kind of like the lobby. You buy your drink, you sit down. Once the show starts, you finish your drink, you go inside, you take your seat. If you want to get another drink during the show, you come back outside. We have the show on a video relay out here, so you won't miss any of the show. So that was kind of the thing that people were like, yes, that's the way to do it. And so once you're inside, you're not going to take your mask off for any reason. There's no reason to. So I would say it's safer to come here and see a show than it is to go to a restaurant. Yeah. Because you're not if you're outside drinking, you're in an open air environment. It's been, I think it's been proven that it's difficult to catch it in an open environment. Once you're inside, you always have your mask on. I think the figure is that, if two people are within, less than 6 feet of each other, and they both have a mask on, one of them has it, one of them doesn't, there's a 3% chance that the other person is going to catch it. So, I like those odds.
Yeah.
So we feel good about that. We feel like, it's doable, and we hope that we can just ride this thing out.
Yeah.
And just continue to tweak things and make them work.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate all of the care that you guys have taken to make this.
Yeah,
really
thank
safe.
you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be involved in something which seemed reckless or unsafe, and just from a personal standpoint, like even as much precautions as we've taken, there's still every day where I'm like, man, like, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
But yeah, you just have. I try to, I think you kind of have to try to live in the middle somewhere. You can't be, stay at home for the next year and a half, and you can't, you can't go out and be reckless. You got to kind of figure out the middle ground where it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, just to close off, do you want to like hype up High Dive really quick for just like a break that we could play on air, maybe? Not to like hugely put you on the spot.
So like, this is Pat from High Dive, and you're listening to, what is it? I'm sorry.
95.3 GHQ.
95.3 GHQ. Yeah. I'm gonna try it, and if I get it wrong,
okay.
I'll keep trying it.
No pressure at all.
No, I've been on the other side of this. This is fun. But okay. This is Pat from High Dive in downtown Gainesville, and you're listening to 95.3 WGHQ.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking the
we're
time.
gonna take some pictures around here.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Absolutely. And you're welcome to go inside and take a picture of what the showroom looks like.
Awesome.
Great.
And feel free to stick around because the show starts at 9.
Yeah.
You can hang out and watch it out here, have a drink or whatever.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And definitely, please reach out if there's anything we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, keep an eye on our calendar. Starting in November, we're going to have we're gonna start having bands in person inside. Because this week, we had Rocky Horror Wednesday and Thursday. We had comedy yesterday, and we had crowds inside for that. But I've been wanting to kind of hold off on the bands and make sure that we have the format right. And so far, people have been really well behaved and not pushing the limits too much. So, I anticipate when the bands come, like it's going to be a little. People are going to, I mean, we had a crowd here last Saturday that just outside was being kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so. It's just like one step at a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, next month we're gonna have like a good sampling of local bands. We're gonna have a couple bands from out of town, and then in December we're gonna have Zach Deputies gonna be back here, and we're hopefully like the more we're here doing it and things are going well, like we'll be getting phone calls from bands that want to come. I think like the bands want to play just as much as we want to have bands here. It's like people are going to starve out there if they don't get up here and play a show. So, we're hoping for the best.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely keep shouting your stuff out on air.
Yeah,
and
thank
doing
you.
Whatever we can.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate your guys' support and your interest. And
yeah, I mean, this is like such an awesome place.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the last 6 months or so have been really difficult. Just because this place is hard enough to keep going just when things are normal. Like there's always something breaking, there's always some drama.
Yeah.
That's just the live music business in general. It's not, it's not an office job. And that's part of the reason why I got into it in the first place. But yeah, this is it's close to a 24/7 job as you can get, and just to see it dead for so long. I mean, it looks good out here right now. Yeah. But this place was trashed for months, and I was like, man, this place is like a junkyard. This place is like a storage unit for all our broken dreams right now. No, it looks good now. Like, there's more we want to do, and hopefully, if we get this Save Our Stages bill to pass, there's some improvements we can make to the building, and things that will make it a better long-term place that people want to keep coming back to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Makes me super happy to hear it.